Shalom Yasharal. I want to get infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakakadash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who are worthy of double honors and salutation to our fellow laborers in the Mashiach, Yahushai, pushing his beloved truth across the four winds. And it's fine out. Shalom to you, brother. You brothers, you Akim, you few sisters that take heed. All right, on this clip, I'm going to go into the foundations being out of course. This devil changing times and laws, the reason the Lord in his final hour has raised up the prophets and put them in their light to be a light to the Gentiles, all right? Because we don't know if we're going to come. The so-called white man has taught us good is evil and evil is good. He's turned things upside down, all right? So we don't know basic things like the Shabbat, all right? When you transgress the Shabbat, that's a sin unto death, okay? The Lord is serious about us keeping these commandments. So I'm going into the topic of the beloved Shabbat, why we got to keep it holy, all right? And a plethora of other things just to show that this devil, man, he has the foundations of the earth out of course through his philosophies, all right? And using his military to go through nations and oppress a man and his heritage, and just westernize and Hellenize the planet, basically Satanize the planet, all right? Just everything adverse to Yahweh Shemawashai's law by making void Yahweh Shemawashai's law, all right? This earth is under the vibration of Satan, adverse to the Lord. So I'm going to start off in Psalms, okay? And this is Psalms 82 and verse 5, and it's written, they know not, neither do they understand, that walk on in darkness. Darkness represents lies, all right? The inhabitants of the earth are consumed with lies, fallacies, so on and so forth. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Women are out of order. Men are out of order. You got men identifying as women. Women are identifying as men. The government telling you that that's okay, all right? Giving them rights, so on and so forth. When our blessed law say people that do such things should be unalived, okay? You got children disobeying parents. They teaching children in curriculum at school that they're whatever they want to identify as, non-binary. If a little boy say he's a girl, the parents have to respect it, so on and so forth. And if the parents teach their child otherwise, the government will come in and try to take your children away from you. These are the times we're living in, okay? Things are ready to turn upside down. In fact, let me get that, all right? The foundations are out of course, and things is just upside down, all right? What I'm looking for, 29, Isaiah 29:16, and it's written, these things, that's why we always are locked in the prophecy. It was prophesied a time in, it was aforetime prophesied that in the future these things would come to pass, all right? And we're going to live in a time where the foundations of the earth will be out of course, birds falling out the air, fishes beaching themselves, just air polluted, water polluted, just everything can go wrong, will go wrong, because the Lord was going to raise up this great red dragon to rule in the kingdom of men at the end of time, all right, the end of an era and age, all right? Isaiah 29:16, surely your turning the things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. And this is the Lord talking to the so-called white man, all right? He gave him the power to rule in the kingdom of men in the final hour, all right? And he's esteemed, he's the clay, and he's going to tell the potter, you don't know what you're doing, okay? For shall the work say to him that made it, he made me not? See, this is what the so-called white man said. I was born this way. I can do as thou wilt. The Lord told us don't let our children pass through the fire, all right? Abortion is another way, a modern way of passing your children through the fire, killing them, little infants, little children, okay? This devil has made it lawful, made it legal, passed legislation that you could kill a baby in his last trimester, fully developed baby, take it out of the vagina, break his fucking spinal cord, all right? That's what happened when things are upside down and the world is out of course. You have a madman ruling, All right? He's going to tell his maker how things should be done, and he made a mistake. All right? For shall the work said to him that made it, he made me not. This is what the white man does. All right? He's a Satanist. He's an anti-Mashiach, antichrist. Or shall the thing framed of him that has framed it, he had no understanding? Okay? The so-called white man, the Lord has gave us a blessed law, told us to tend to the garden, rule over here. He gave us a code of ethics to live by. And this devil say, no, y'all doing it the wrong way. This is the way you do it. Pollute the rivers, pollute the seas, pollute the air, add ingredients to water, add ingredients to salt. Just defile every fucking thing. Okay? This is the times we're living in. And he's doing things, he's making void the law because he know that's our kryptonite. Okay? That's why he don't want us to keep this blessed law. All right? He studied us. He's a psychoanalyst. So he knows you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and people of Hispanic descent don't conform to his word. The Lord is going to be against us. And he's going to let this devil rule over us. But it's a remnant that would not bow their knee before Baal, would not submit to the so-called white man. All right? This is Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. All right? And what are those great words? Two men can marry. All right? You can kill an unborn fetus. Okay? Gender equality. Okay? Just all of these things. Those are great swelling words. Defiant, shaking his fist at the Most High. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. The servants of the Lord are getting wore out in this motherfucker. We're the offscouring of the nations. The Lord set forth his apostles laugh, and the apostles get ridiculed, mocked, scoffed at, dealt with treacherously, okay? To the point that they're going to kill some of us, all right? They're going to kill some of his servants, behead us, all right, for holding the testimony of Yahweh Shai and standing so stiffly, okay? And think to change times and laws, and that's what I want to get. We're going to go through how this devil has changed times and laws, all right? He's called evil good, good evil, and turn things upside down. And they shall be given into his hands. See, the Lord gave this devil a little season when you read in the book of Revelation to rule until a time and a dividing a time. It goes in 350 years, okay? So this devil has been in power and just corrupting wherever he goeth, okay? And let's see how he's changed times and laws, all right? And how this devil has corrupted things, all right? Just something simple as knowing what day of the week it is, okay? Knowing when the beginning of the year starts, all right? Let's see how this devil has done that and how he's defiled the Shabbat, okay? So I'm gonna start off in Exodus, okay? This is Exodus 12:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months, the first of the year. It shall be the first month of the year to you, all right? Now, if you don't do your due diligence, all right, and study to show thyself approved, and just read this for face value, you're going to think this is talking about January 1st, all right? And you will fuck up and keep the Shabbat, keep the Passover, because this is going into the Passover. You would keep it totally wrong, all right? Because you don't know when the first of the year are. That's why the Lord has gave us teachers to teach us with knowledge and wisdom. Now let's see when the first of the year is according to the scriptures, and to show how this devil has switched up the time. All right, this is talking about. It's another one I want to get to. A bib. I'm gonna just type it in. All right. Bear with me. Spelt it wrong. All right. The scriptures call the first one of the year a bib, okay? Now we're going to see what a bib is. Oh, shit. Did I spell it wrong? A bib, a.k.a. Nissan, or Nissan. A bib, I thought that's what it was. Hold on, bear with me, Aki. Let me find this precept. I want to be thorough. Looking at my other phone. Bear with me, Arkin. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna just get in the book of Esther. I know where it is, Esther. All right, just go to the sun. All right, this is the book of Esther, because I might be pronouncing it wrong, but we good. This is Esther 3:8, and it's written. All right. And Haman said unto King Osiris, and this is Xerxes, this King Osiris. And Salaki, if I'm pronouncing wrong, this is the Xerxes that you see in the movie 300. There's a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed amongst the people in the provinces of the kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all our people. Neither do they keep the king's laws. Therefore, it is not the king's profit to suffer them. Okay? Let me get straight to the point. Bear with me. All right. This is verse 7. I started at 8. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, you see? The first month, that is the month Nisan. All right? In the 12th year of King Osiris, they cast pure. That is thy lot before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that it is the month Adar. All right? And Adar is what you know is February. That's really the last month of the year, not the second month of the year. And we're about to prove it. All right? Let's go to the Hebrew calendar to show you that this devil has just changed times and laws. This is the Hebrew calendar here. All right? Then this is the month we're supposed to keep the Passover in March. All right. Nisan, what we just read in the scriptures, that represents March. All right. And I think Nisan is a Babylonian dialect. All of these names, Ayar, so on and so forth, because when you read the book of Esther and Ezra, you find these words in there. So that's when they came back from that Persian captivity. All right, they were speaking that tongue. You know, it was I say it wasn't just the ancient Paleo pure tongue that they were speaking during the time of Moses. All right, but look, the first day of the year is Nisan, what you know is March. Okay, but this devil has made it January. In fact, since I'm already here, let me go a little bit more in depth. Okay, to show you that this is what happened when the Romans came into power. This is Anarius, which you know is January. Okay, the month of Janus, which is a pagan deity, was the first month of the ancient Roman calendar, from which Julian and Gregorian month of January derived. Okay, it was followed by February's. All right, now this is what happened when Julius Caesar came into power. All right, he turned it from a 29 day to 31. In the calendars of the Roman Republic, January had 29 days. 2 days were added, and the calendar was reformed under Julius Caesar in 45 BCE. All right, the oldest Roman calendar, all right, this is the point right here, which the Romans believed to have been instituted by their legendary founder, Romulus. The first month was Martius, all right, and that goes into the god of Mars, month of Mars, March. And the calendar had only 10 months, all right? But this is the point of the matter. This is, they changed the times and laws because the Most High had this. March is the first month. That's when everything's alive. That's when the animals start having babies. That's when flowers will start blooming. Okay, that's when the birds start mating, so on and so forth. All right. That's when everything comes alive, refreshed, renewed. All right. You just had the winter and the fall where the trees fall off, the leaves fall off the trees, everything dead. In winter, our great king wasn't born in the winter. He was born in the spring. Okay, in contrast to popular belief. But this is what that devil does. All right, and this is another telltale sign that he's changed things. All right, let's go to this devil Octavian. All right, Octavian gens was a plebeian family in ancient Rome, which was raised to patrician by Caesar during the first BC. And Julius Caesar adopted who you know as Caesar Augustus, whose name was Octavian. And Octavian was a family in a patrician family, and that word Octavian became what you know as a, a high stature word. All right, and Octavian means eight, the eighth. Okay, but it became not just a family, but when you used it, it was a title of high regard. Okay, and that's why his name was Octavius. Okay, and it means eight, the same where the word October is derived from. Eight. October is supposed to be the 8th month. And Septium, which comes from the Latin, these fucking Romans, it means 7. That's why when you look up Septimius Severus, all right, that represents 7. Okay? 7. All right, but that's not the 7 month in these 12 months that the so-called white man has implemented. So he's turned upside down. Whatever the Lord say do, he says don't do it, and whatever the Lord tells you to don't do, he says do it with liberty. And he's even changed the days. All right, now let's go on the scriptures and see how he did it. All right, when Daniel 7:25, what I first read, was fulfilled. Okay, it was fulfilled during the time of the Greeks. All right, and the Romans just took it further. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to First Maccabees 1:44. Okay, it is written, for the king sent letters, had sent letters and by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah that they should follow strange laws of the land. You see. And those strange laws mean do away with your laws, make void the law, and become profane, satanic, and wicked. All right? Follow our laws. And forbid burnt offerings, do away with your customs, and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they shall profane the Shabbats and the festival days. Okay? Now let's see what happens according to our blessed law when you profane the Shabbat. All right? This is to show you this is a wicked motherfucker. This is Exodus 31:14, and it's written, you shall keep the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. You see what this devil did? So when our people call themselves keeping the Shabbat on Sundays in modern day Christianity, all right, you're doing a wicked act that's punishable by death. That's why the Lord is against us. The wages of sin is death. And then when you have Israelites that know they're Israelites following the so-called white man's Gregorian calendar, the 7 days, all right, and you clearly knowing this devil has changed times and laws, you still going off because that's not the right timetable. And that's not how the Lord taught us how to keep the Shabbat, all right? One thing he can't pervert is the moon, all right? He can't pervert that. All right. The Lord is perfect in all his doings. All right. So I'm gonna let me start off in Genesis. All right, the book of Genesis. Let's see something. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. All right. And it's written, and Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament in the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So we tell time and we know the time of the day from the heavenly hosts, all right? Okay? And let them be lights in the firmament for the heaven of life upon the earth. And it was so. And the Lord made two great lights, the great light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made also stars also. So that moon is that lesser night to move the light. And that's how we tell times. That's how we know when the Shabbat comes in. All right, let's see. So the Lord clearly tells us he gave us those heavenly hosts so we could read the times, the seasons, and that's how we know our Shabbats, our festival days, our high holy days, so on and so forth. Okay? This is let me go to Sirach to bag that up. This is the book of Sirach, 43:6, and it's written, he made the moon also to serve in her season. That's what we just read, for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Talking about the world of Israel, okay? From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name, all right? Because the beginning of the month is when the new Shabbat comes in, okay? Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining the firmament of heaven, okay? So this is what the Lord gave us so we can know when the Shabbat comes in, all right? Looking at the moon. That's why you have to have a lunar calendar to know when the Shabbat comes in. And that's something this devil can't pervert. He's going to try to do it, but he can't change the times and the calendars with the moon. Okay, he can't say, "Oh, this lunar eclipse is going to come in. We're going to stop it." He can't do that. All right, but when it comes to paperwork and making calendars and changing times and laws in the kingdom of men, he could do that. But he's never going to pervert the Shabbat long as we have that knowledge and we're not discontinued from our heritage. All right, so the way you keep that Shabbat perfectly is according to the moon, and we had this knowledge in the ancient world, and the Lord has blessed us and gave it back to us. Let's prove it. All right, let's go back to let me go to Ezekiel, Yakazaka Allah, going the wrong way, 46. No, I think I'm going to 40. All right, it's 46:3. All right, check this out. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship the door of the gate before the Lord in the Shabbats and the new moons. And this is what you got to understand. There's no such thing as a Shabbat without a new moon. All right? The way we know a Shabbat is coming in is through the new moon. All right? There's no such thing as Shabbat without the new moon coming in. All right, and the new moons could come in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you can't use the Gregorian calendar and say, oh, every 7 days that pass and it falls on a Saturday, that's the Shabbat. No. The new moon can come in on a Saturday, a Sunday, a Thursday, a Wednesday, so on and so forth. And from when that new moon comes in, if it falls on that Thursday, that whole month you keep the Shabbat on that Thursday. Okay, when the next weekend, when the next Thursday come in, all right, you keep it on that day. When the next Thursday come in, you keep it on that day till the new moon comes in again. That's the proper way to keep the Shabbat. Okay, let me get a precept to bag that up. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 23, and it's written, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. You see, when that new moon come in, that's a Shabbat. So from one new moon to the next, all right, and from one Shabbat to the next. So when that new moon comes in, that's the Shabbat. And then the next month, when the new moon comes in, whatever day that is, that's the Shabbat. Okay? But this devil knows our laws. He knows that the Lord hates us. All right, when you read Judith, the 5th chapter, all right, he studied us, so he knows as long as he can keep us transgressing the law, that the Lord is not going to protect us. But he don't understand the Lord raised up a remnant, okay, that will come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and keep his word perfectly, all right? Matthew, the 5th chapter, he commanded us to keep it perfectly and submit under his word, okay? So This devil has changed God's laws, but hey, we're the Lord. This is what the Lord set up the men of the Lord to do in this fine hour. This is the book of 2 Corinthians. All right, chapter 10, verse 4, and it's written, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." See, this word is our weapon. All right, the Spirit of the Lord is our weapon. All right, because the war is in our mind. All right, this devil wants you to not have this doctrine. All right, this doctrine is our weapons of war. Okay, but mighty through Yahweh for pulling down strongholds, pulling down lies. Strongholds are lies and shackles that are on your mind. All right, this spirit breaks those shackles, breaks those yokes off your mind. All right, and it frees you. Now you know the truth. Now you understand the scriptures. Now the Lord has opened up your understanding that you may understand the scriptures, like in Luke, the 24th chapter, the 44th verse. Casting down imaginations. Imagination goes into lies, all right? Fallacies, all right? Things that come against the Most High. And every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of power, all right? So that's basically the American educational industrial complex and the philosophies that pour forth out of it. All right, that beast system. Okay, the Lord has raised up His servants, the prophets, to feed the elect with knowledge and wisdom, so we could cast down those imaginations we've been taught and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach Yahushua. All right, and that's why we can go to Second Ezra, the 7th chapter. This is the times we're living in. This is 7 and what I want. Bear with me. I want corruption as it in. Here we go. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and 44. Intemperance is at an end. Defiance. Infidelity is cut off. All right. And what your unbelief. Okay. Is cut off. Righteousness is growing and the truth is spring forth. The truth is what tear down those strongholds. The truth is what casts down those imaginations, okay? Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. So the time is coming. If the Lord has your number for you to be destroyed, a man can't even pray for you, all right? You can't pray for the wicked. If the Lord say in this great house, you got vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor, if you're a vessel of dishonor, there's nothing you can do. Nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. And there's nothing, if you're one of the elect men, there's nothing this devil could do to hinder you from getting this truth. All right, and living according to it. And that's what you got to pray for, that the Lord have mercy on you and you be in that elect number. All right, because we're at the end of an age, the end of an era. And our great king is about to come in. Those men that have stood so stiffly for his testimony and abide in his word, the Lord is going to come deliver us, and He's going to give us spiritual powers. And during these turbulent times, we're going to go through. All right, He's not going to forget your labor of love that you showed towards the saints, teaching the truth of the scriptures. So with that, I'm going to get infinite honor to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah Bashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, and salutation to our fellow laborers in the Mashiach Yahweh Shah. Kwam Yasharala, Abba, Abba.